Howdy.
Welcome to the Mav and Call Show.
How are we doing today?
Well, I'm all right, Call. How you?
I'm good.
Call has issues today, apparently.
So do I. Me too.
Today we're gonna be doing 80's cartoons.
Cartoons from the 80s.
Man, I remember there
Them
was
were
a
the
bunch.
best ones.
Yeah, there was a bunch.
Yeah.
A lot of them I remember only lasted like a season or so, but they were great cartoons.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
I remember my favorite cartoon growing up. Favorite, hands down. I'd watch it over anything. Was Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that was cool.
They rode the roller coaster into,
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
What was that, a portal or something?
Yeah, it turned into a portal and took them into the magical world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Then they all had different garb on, you know.
They were all
clothes
different
and everything.
things. Yep.
I liked the magician
Yeah.
and the archer. He was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. They had some really good animation in that, I think.
Remember the dungeon master? Wouldn't he like tell them something, and whenever they had questions, he would like disappear?
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah.
He was only like 2 foot tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good cartoon. I remember that cartoon.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'd love to like have a lot of our old cartoons on DVD.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
You know,
I mean, they have them out there. We just got to buy them. They cost a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they have a few on DVD, but man, them 80's cartoons were where it was at.
Yeah.
You know, and plus we also had Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
They don't have that no more, man.
No.
That's sad.
Yeah, I feel like it took away from a child's
Just
childhood.
TV altogether ain't the same anymore.
Yeah, no, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The setup and everything.
Yeah, it's
you know?
not good. Yeah, it's just very rare if they make a good movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know on Antenna TV every Saturday at night, though, it's like real late at night, they have Tune In with me.
Yeah.
And it's cartoons. And
Yeah.
this guy hosts it with this little fake fish. Like it's
Yeah,
a puppet fish or something.
Yeah.
But it's I used to watch it, though.
So, some of these cartoons you guys may remember and you may not. You may have to use
Like look
Google.
It up. Yep.
I mean, we try to show you guys what we're talking about. But some of these are pretty deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people may or may not remember. The Wuzzles from Disney.
Yeah, I remember the Wuzzles.
I think one of the coolest ones was the Lion and the Bumblebee, because I would have never thought to put
That's
those
the one
two
that
things
stuck
together.
out the most, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he was cool.
He was like one of the main characters.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the Wuzzles a lot. I thought it was a cool, and I was really young.
But yeah, that was for little kids like
Yeah, I
toddlers.
was young. Dragon's Lair.
I remember that, but I don't remember.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I remember the name.
yeah. He was like a knight. He was a knight, and he went through the forest, and you know,
Did he have like a magical shield or something?
yeah, I think so. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I remember. I vaguely do
I
remember.
hardly remember.
I
that
want to say it was like 81 or 82, so I was really super little, you
Yeah.
know. Voltron.
Voltron was awesome. So the newer generation has Power Rangers. Voltron was our Power Rangers.
Right.
They would unite into a robot.
Into a huge robot, yep.
Yep.
They all were different pieces of the robot.
Yep. Man, that was
Yep.
really cool back
Yeah,
then. I
yeah.
used to have the coloring books and everything.
Now, here's one a lot of people may not remember. Galaxy High.
I kind of remember that. I do remember that a little bit.
Yeah, it was like a eclectic group of aliens all going to this
Yeah.
high school out in the galaxy, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool. It was different, you know. And then now the GoBots.
The GoBots, the generic Transformers.
Now a lot of people may not know this, but it wasn't actually called GoBots.
Yeah, it was called. It had a title.
Yes, it was called Challenge of the GoBots.
Challenge of the GoBots.
So we always growing up, I think we just referred to it as GoBots.
Yeah.
You know. So I remember it more or less it was more or less like a Transformers knockoff.
Yeah, it was. It totally was.
Yeah.
The toys were cheaper than Transformers and everything.
Yeah. And then now we're to one that is.
I remember being like, "Oh man, you got me GoBot instead of a Transformer." I am not Optimus Prime.
I mean, if you got a GoBot for Christmas, your parents were not thinking. That's all I'm saying.
That you had to like pretend to appreciate it,
Right?
I mean, I really did, man. I liked everything I had. We're getting some static here.
Yeah.
No, there we go.
Yeah. Sometimes, trucks or whatever will go by and the radios will play with our frequency equipment.
Mm-hmm.
My Pet Monster.
Yes, that was a cool show, dude.
I remember my brother had a My Pet Monster, and he like had blue handcuffs or something.
Yellow.
Or he was blue.
He was blue with yellow handcuffs.
And like you could break it. His hands break free and stuff.
And you could wear the cuffs and do that too.
Yeah, I just remember my brother had one.
Yeah, I remember My Pet Monster. You know, I kind of feel like that's where Toy Story got their idea for Toy Story.
Yeah, it could
because My Pet Monster, he came alive for the kid.
Right.
And when the adults was around, he just laid there like a toy, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, here is one of Kaw's favorite TV shows.
What's that?
Or I should say cartoon shows. Mr. T.
Mr. T, I pity the fool. Yeah, I used to go around whispering, Mr. T, Mr. T, Mr. T, Mr. T. I was really little. My mom used to ask me what I was saying all the time, and I was like, Mr. T. And she's like, oh, okay. He was my guy back then, man. He was awesome. I forgot he even had a freaking cartoon, man.
Yeah. Mr. T was cool. He was just really cool. Now, here's one for the ladies who grew up in the 80s. Jim and the Holograms.
I remember Jim and the Holograms. I used to watch that with my sister.
She used to touch her earrings, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
See, they would rock out. They had a band and whatever.
Yeah, she was in a band.
With
Jim and the Holograms. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow, man.
It's blast from the past, right?
Yeah, it is.
Beetlejuice cartoon.
I come for your daughter, Chuck. Yeah, I liked Beetlejuice cartoons.
Yeah, I thought it was good the way they did it.
You know, that was one cartoon that I did watch that the voices weren't the actors from the movie.
Right.
Because they had other cartoons that I didn't watch them because it wasn't the actors from the movie.
Right.
It wasn't their voices, you know.
Yep. I don't think this one lasted long, but it was a cool cartoon. Alf Tales.
Yeah, about Alf. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, that didn't last very long at all.
No.
I didn't even watch it that much, but I remember it, though. I watched a few episodes of it.
Now, this next show, I call it a G.I. Joe.
The spinoff, like...
not spinoff, but like copy. Mask.
I mean...
It was like...
They had the cars that flew and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they were supposed to be like, the special team or something. It was like G.I. Joe, sort of.
Yeah.
I always kind of equated the two together because it's kind of the same thing.
I always thought the red car was the coolest.
Right.
And the doors opened up like they had not butterfly doors, them open sideways, but they came up. You know what I'm talking about? Like a DeLorean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Now, this next one you may remember, and you may not.
Oh, I might not.
Silverhawks.
Barely.
You should see it in your mind.
I do, but
that's all you know.
I was so little, man, when that was out, but I do remember it. Hello, Static, my old friend.
So
messing up my podcast again.
Right. Silverhawks he had silver wings. He could, it was like him and a team of superheroes, and they flew around.
Did they have swords or something?
I don't know.
I don't remember. It was so long ago, man.
I have no idea. All I remember is he had silver wings.
Hey, comment if you remember the Silverhawks and tell us what it was about. We don't feel like Googling it.
And again, one for the ladies who grew up in the 80s. She-Ra.
She-Ra. I watched that.
Princess of Power.
Because that's a part of He-Man's universe.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I totally watched
I remember they did a few episodes where He-Man and She-Ra actually, they found out about each other, is how She-Ra started on He-Man.
Yeah.
And then the She-Ra show started, I thought it was pretty cool the way they did it.
She-Ra. Yeah, I remember.
And so, I mean, I watched She-Ra, my sister loved She-Ra, of course. So we kind of had to watch it. Now, this next cartoon is also probably in my top 5. Thundar, the Barbarian.
Yeah, that's one of the ones. Yeah, that's one of the ones I hardly remember. But I do remember that there was a dinosaur and another thing too, like some kind of blobby looking thing, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
And the dinosaur had the 2 horns, and it would shoot these boulders out.
Yeah, these little lava rocks or whatever. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, Thundar the Barbarian was a good cartoon. I enjoyed that. It doesn't take much to please a child, I guess.
Not really, man.
Good cartoons.
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yes, I watched that every Saturday, man. I never missed an episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's Pee-wee. I mean, we should do that one day, is create a secret word.
Today's secret word is cartoon. Whenever you hear that word, scream real loud. Well, we can't because our microphones are super sensitive. I would do a Pee Wee Herman impression, but it's really loud, so I'm not going to. He was a loud guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Paul Rubens is the best, dude.
Yeah, he was awesome as Pee Wee. The Real Ghostbusters.
Wait, okay, we'll get to the Real Ghostbusters, but real quick, back to Pee Wee. Did you know that in the TV show Pee Wee's Playhouse, they didn't use his name in the credits as Paul Rubens.
Right.
It said Pee Wee Herman as himself.
Right.
So like he went by Pee Wee Herman, like that was his name for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But,
yeah. He went by Pee Wee for many years.
Yeah, he did.
Many years.
That was his whole persona. He started off on doing stand-up comedy as Pee Wee Herman, and he had this like giant pair of underwear, and he put them on a certain way and pretended it was a swing. Yeah.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. So what was it? The next one?
The next one was
the Real Ghostbusters.
The Real Ghostbusters.
Yep, I remember that too. I used to love that show. They had an episode that creeped me out a little bit. They had the ghost name was Sam Hain, and he had a pumpkin's head, and he was like the way he would talk, and he was like Ghostbusters. Yeah, I was like, oh no, like, that dude scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
And so for those who don't know, the word looks like Sam Hain, and that's a pagan thing, and it's actually pronounced Samhain. So, but yeah, just a little fun fact.
Oh.
Yeah. I learned that.
Now, this next one I think is the top 80s cartoon. Thundercats.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
it's one of the top. Okay, so I have a top 3.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. And then we'll get to the other 2 in a minute. Actually, I think the next one is one of the,
Yeah, but Thundercats was an amazing cartoon when it came out.
Yeah, yes, it was. It still is. If you go back and watch the old 80s episodes,
Oh,
they're way better than the remake that they did.
I've got Thundercats on DVD.
The storyline and everything.
Or on Blu-ray or whatever it is.
It's DVD. You got the whole collection.
The whole collection, yeah.
Yep.
I love Thundercats. I wish they would do all our shows
What was that layer called?
The Cat's Lair.
Cat's Lair. Okay, that's what I thought it was. I wasn't sure.
And then they had the Thunder Tank.
And I had a cartoon crush on Chitara.
Yeah, Chitara was cool.
She was hot for a cartoon, man.
Yeah, she was hot for a cheetah girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Didn't she have a tail?
Yes, I think so.
You know who a couple of my favorites on there was Wile E. Kit and Wile E. Cat, the younger ones. That was always in the mischief and everything.
I mean,
and of course you had Snarf.
Snarf was not my favorite. He was okay.
I liked him because he was like always messing things up.
You know, he was. Snarf was like. I've seen a few episodes. I remember he was annoying. You know what I mean? He was just annoying.
Well, they did a good job then, because that was the point,
right?
You know, they wanted him to be annoying and bumbling. kind of like Orko.
Now, this next one I can guarantee is in the top 3 for Call.
Yep.
He-Man.
Yeah, that's funny because I just mentioned Orko. He was
Yep.
the annoying one that bumbled everything. And
Yep.
he floated along. He was a little wizard with no face. He just had eyes
Yep.
in his
Yep.
hands. He didn't have no arms. He just had hands. They floated.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're
Had a
gonna
bow on his,
we're gonna also touch on all the villains here in a minute, but right now we're just talking about how great all these great cartoons were.
Yeah, He-Man was awesome.
He-Man was great. Now here's one I know this is for the ladies. Shirt Tails.
I remember the name. I don't remember the show.
I think they lived in a tree, maybe. That's about all I remember.
I thought that was the Munchie Cheese.
The Munchie Cheese also lived in a tree. But the Munchie Cheese were like these monkey things.
Yeah.
Shirt Tails, I think, were more like some kind of different animal thing.
I'd have to look that up and see what they look like.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to show all the stuff we're talking about here. But the Shirt Tails, I just remember there was like a skunk or something, maybe.
Okay, that does sound familiar.
Yeah, and I think they wore shirts. I don't know.
Weird.
Wasn't really something I watched.
Animals with shirts on. So yeah, my top 3 is Thundercats, He-Man, and Transformers.
Yes,
I love the Transformers.
yes,
Man. We did mention them when we mentioned GoBots, and I think we mentioned them in another podcast too.
Yeah. But I mean, you're talking like pretty much that's every guy's.
Them 3 cartoons are my top 3. Them ones were the ones that were the most like detailed in the artwork, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was so detailed. They drew all the muscles, all the everything, you know, like.
Yep.
Instead of just 2 lines for an art, you know what I'm saying?
Now the one thing I do have to say, Thundercats, when the credits would come on and stuff, I remember very vividly watching the first episode with my brother, right? Because we were you knew it was coming on because they hyped it up for like a month or 2, right, before it premiered. And we're like, oh, we got to watch this.
Hear the thunder, hear the roar.
And
Thundercats
then
are loose.
I remember
that was awesome.
When we first seen Mum-Ra.
On He-Man, yeah.
No, on Thundercats.
No, Mum-Ra's on. Oh,
Thundercats.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Thundercats.
Oh yeah, He-Man had Skeletor. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, guys, my bad. My mind was. I looked at the word He-Man on the paper here, and he said that. Like, yeah, Mum-Ra was definitely Thundercats.
Mum-Ra.
He was scary,
dude. I was 7, 8 years old. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Like, I was like, man.
yeah. He's not so scary when he's just the mummy with the robe on.
Yeah, and he's all bandaged up.
Yeah, and he's like little, and then
Yeah.
he bursts out into this big, muscular, demon-looking guy.
I was
Fangs
like,
and stuff.
I mean, that scared the hell out of me the first time. I was like, what is this thing?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
My brother used to watch that. I was like, man, let's turn this off, man.
Yeah, Mum-Ra was cool, man.
Yeah, he was.
And he had who was it, Slive, and his little group of cronies that always worked for him. Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yep. And then...
yeah, I totally remember him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean...
Memories.
Yeah. Like I said, we should probably catch up on a few episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I haven't seen it.
You got He-Man on DVD too, don't you?
Maybe.
I think so.
I think so.
I think you got
somewhere.
Thundercats and He-Man.
Yeah, somewhere.
And Skeletor.
Well, He-Man was cool
dude.
because, Skeletor was awesome.
I'll get you, He-Man.
Skeletor was cool. Man, even Skeletor had a chick.
Evil Lynn, yeah, he did.
Yep. Skeletor had a chick. Evil Lynn.
Who did He-Man have?
He-Man was...
Teela? No, that's his sister, wasn't it?
No, Taylor was Man-at-Arms' daughter.
Oh.
And, I mean, I guess you could say Taylor.
When He-Man wasn't He-Man, he was Prince Adam.
Right.
So,
And then...
I don't know who the princess would have been. Yeah.
When Battle Cat wasn't Battle Cat, he was Cringer. And then you had She-Ra.
I liked when he became Battle Cat. That was like the coolest thing, watching him turn into Battle Cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm like, cool. Yeah, he's fierce and whatnot,
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah, I like the way they did it.
I have
But
the
we had some
power.
great cartoons. We
Yeah,
had
we
some
did.
fantastic cartoons back. I mean, we
Hey, an honorable mention, man, is I think is Inspector Gadget, man.
oh yeah,
I
Inspector
loved
Gadget.
Inspector
Yeah.
Gadget. Go Gadget arms. He got a really long arm, and he was always messing up, but he would, he got it in
Yep.
the end. Then he had Penny and Brain.
Yep.
She was like giving him all the intel, looking it up, and Brain was sneaking around. Oh, and then they had the chief, and he would give
Yeah.
Gadget a message.
Yeah.
He said, "This message will self-destruct," and he'd throw it away, and wherever he threw it away was where Chief was hiding, and it would
Right.
explode inside there. And he's like, "Oh, I gotta quit using this paper." Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of great cartoons back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I have so many memories of coming home from school, sitting down, and just start watching my cartoons.
Yeah, all the after-school cartoons. We had what? DuckTales. We had the
We-
Gummy
oh,
Bears. We had
DuckTales was awesome.
Tailspin.
Yeah, DuckTales was awesome. You know
Chip
what?
and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
All of them.
I
Wow.
still loved Looney Tunes at that time.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. Yeah, definitely.
You
That's
know?
back whenever Sammy Sam had his guns and everything. Ooh, I heard that rabbit. He would use the word hate. They took all that stuff out of there. They took away Pepe Le Pew, said he
Yeah.
was like pervert or something. Like,
I mean, yeah, they've really done a number on our cartoons.
yeah, they did. And
You
look
know.
at how we turned out. We ain't trying to like explode people with dynamite.
Right,
and
like
crap
we
like
knew
that.
it was fake.
I'm not gonna drop an anvil on somebody's head. You know.
Right.
I like the Coyote and Roadrunner.
Yeah, I remember seeing the episode. I think it was 80 or 81. He finally caught the Roadrunner, right? Because everybody was complaining that he's always chasing but never catching.
Yeah.
And he holds up a sign and says, "Okay, now I caught him. I caught him." And then
Now what?
he holds up another sign. Now what?
Yeah. I remember Family Guy making fun of it.
Yeah.
They caught him and he cooked them and he took a bite and he's like, "Oh man, this tastes terrible. Why was I chasing him around so long?" That's funny, man.
Yeah, I love our old cartoons, and a lot of times, like especially when I got the Thundercats years ago and I was watching it, I remember like I would have these flashes of memory come back from watching that episode.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
what
I know
mean?
what you're talking about.
And it was
You
just
just
like,
remember what was going on around you and everything.
yeah, it was like nostalgia or something.
Yeah.
You know, was kicking in. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we just had the best time growing up, man.
Yeah, we did.
You know, the last generation of true children, kids. But if you guys remember any, give us a yell.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, there's a lot more.
There's so many more. There's just so many. Some of them.
Oh man, I remember watching Plastic Man.
Yes, Plastic
Man was
yes.
awesome, man. He had the red suit with the white sunglasses.
The Amazing
I thought
Spider-Man.
I thought he was the coolest. Yeah, we had Spider-Man.
The
back
Amazing
then.
Spider-Man, and
Yep.
or what was it? Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, we just had awesome time as kids. I remember
the wrestlers.
Oh yeah, the WWF wrestlers.
Yep. They was like little kids though, but they still had their little mustaches and everything. But they didn't. I think they lived in like a junkyard or something.
Oh man, it's been so many years. So many years. I remember the Muppet Babies.
The Muppet Babies, yeah.
You know, my mom used to love
Muppet
that cartoon.
Babies.
And
Yeah.
so, and my sister loved it. So we had to sit through 30 minutes of Muppet Babies.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
You know, I mean, that's the memories you have. You know,
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Alvin was cool.
Yep. And then they had the Chipettes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there were so many. When I was doing this list, I wasn't trying to go too deep into the ones that didn't last too long because
probably people ain't gonna remember them.
Right. I mean, there was a bunch that maybe I remember watching, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like they only lasted a season or two, and if and you hear the title and you're like, oh my Lord, or a lot of people don't know what you're talking about. So I tried to keep it.
We was talking earlier, bands that had cartoons. I think Kiss had a cartoon.
Yeah.
Bam.
Kiss had a cartoon.
Jackson 5 had a cartoon.
Jackson 5, yeah.
Jeez.
Man.
I can't think of who else did. I can't remember.
Yeah, there was a bunch back. But I mean, I remember my brother was a huge Scooby-Doo fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, see, that came out before the 80s, but we watched it all throughout the 80s.
Yeah, it came out like twice in the 70s. It came out 2 or 3 times in the 80s.
Yeah.
So there's always been new, renditions of it coming out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I like the original, though.
Yeah,
the one we watched
Scooby.
In the
80s.
Like Wild Scoob.
Love Scooby.
Yeah, Scooby and Shaggy's awesome.
I mean, it's what I consider like a classic that everybody knows, and then you got the ones that a lot of people don't remember.
Yeah.
Like I talk to a lot of people about the Wuzzles. They don't remember that at all.
Yeah. That came out when we were real little. That's why.
They don't. They're like, "What are you talking?" And I'm like, "Dude, if you Google it, you'll see a picture. You may know what I'm talking about."
Mm-hmm.
Shirt Tails. I know the name.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I have a vague memory of what it was, but not too much.
Yeah.
But we had fantastic cartoons.
Man, we're missing so many cartoons. Dude.
Oh yeah, this is like very short.
It's not even the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, no, not at all. But again, I wasn't trying to get too deep into it just because I wanted people to remember the cartoons that we were discussing as opposed to, not remembering the ones we have.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys remember any, hit us up, let us know. Because we love reminiscing about old cartoons that we watched.
Yeah.
Especially the ones we forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, I would remind you which ones we forgot about, but we forgot.
Right.
But we know there's something in there,
Yes.
Gargoyles. Was that 80s or 90s? That might be early 90s. I don't think that's maybe, 80s. But it's still
Gargoyles was
we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon also. It was dark though.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a dark cartoon. It was not like, I'm gonna laugh funny. Haha. It was like serious.
Hey, so I don't know if this is late 80s or early 90s, but it's racking my brain. And I don't know how to look it up. I don't know what keywords to put. But there was this cartoon where this little blonde-haired kid had a red hat, and there was an owl that wore a robe, and he was wise and he spoke. And he always called the kid the cap bearer. And whenever that kid takes off the hat, a portal opens up and he has to go through it, and he has to do something to save the day. I don't remember the name of that cartoon, but I know it existed.
Okay, so was it like the Page Master?
That could be. I don't know. That could be. I am not sure, man, but yeah, I totally remember it though.
I remember like the Page Master was kind of like that too.
Yeah. I just remember the owl would refer to him as the cap bearer.
Yeah. Yeah, I vaguely know what you're talking about.
Huh. Man, I got this other one on the tip of my tongue, too. Yeah, that's him.
Mighty Max.
Mighty Max. Wow, I would have never figured that out.
Yeah, dude. Mighty Max. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, Mighty Max.
Yep. Well, problem solved. Never mind.
Because
I used to watch that all the time.
Yeah, you've asked me that question before, and I was like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I do, like I vaguely remember, but
yeah, I forgot he had a big M on his shirt.
yeah, he did. All right, y'all.
Yeah, we're starting.
So if you guys think of anything, hit us up.
Definitely.
We'll see you next time.